Thank you.
Now I recognize the gentlelady from North Carolina, Ms. Adams, for 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the witnesses for being here today. Mr. Smith, I want to start where I think this hearing should start, with students. Because if we're serious about trust in schools, then we can't ignore what breaks that trust. Trust is broken when students experience racism in the classroom. Trust is broken when families are afraid to send their children to school because of immigration enforcement in their communities. Trust is broken when the federal government withholds billions of dollars that Congress already provided for students, teachers, and schools. And that's what parents are worried about. They want their children safe, they want their children respected, and they want their children learning, and they want schools to have the resources to do the jobs. But today, more than half of our public school students identify as students of color, but less than a quarter of teachers are people of color. That means educator preparation matters. Cultural competency matters, bias training matters, professional standards matter as well. We've seen what happens when schools get this wrong. In Florida, a teacher was fired after a video appeared to show a black baby doll hanging from a classroom television monitor. In another case, a teacher was recorded using a racial slur in the classroom. And that kind of conduct has no place in any classroom in America. I taught for 40 years. I have children who went through public schools, and as a parent, I never had a situation where I could not speak to the teachers about what my children were doing. Mr. Smith, what do incidents like these tell us about the need for educator training around cultural competency, bias awareness, and working with diverse communities? And what do you say to those who claim this kind of training is unnecessary?
Thank you for the question. Such training, as you mentioned, is not only necessary, it's also completely lawful. That our schools have to be in places where every student feels safe, they feel secure, they feel comfortable being themselves. And that's not just a preference or ideal for schools, that's literally the law. Title VI of the Civil Rights Act requires that schools not create or tolerate hostile environments. And as you noted, for far too many students of color and far too many other students, school classrooms are not places where they feel comfortable. Far too many of them feel isolated. And I think your point about having teachers who reflect them, I think about my own education. My first black teacher was when I was in second grade, and she was the first teacher I felt as a young person who saw me as who I really was. And so I think I know having teachers of color is critical.
Thank you, sir. Let me move. I have a few more questions. So let me turn to immigration students and families. In Charlotte, we saw thousands of students absent from school during protests connected to immigration enforcement activity in the community. When students are afraid, when families are afraid, and when children are wondering whether school is still a safe place for them, that affects learning. A child cannot focus on reading and math and science or history if they are worried that their family may not be there when they get home. Mr. Smith, how can schools help immigrant students feel safe attending school and fully able to learn without fear or disruption? And in the past, were there ways that the federal government recognized that schools are sensitive places? And if you can be brief with this answer, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. Yes, there was a policy that required schools to be identified as sensitive locations where ICE enforcement could not happen. That policy was revoked and rescinded by this administration. And instead of actually creating safe and supportive environments, this administration has targeted immigrants and other communities of color in ways that are unconscionable.
Okay, let me move on to say something about funding. My colleagues can talk about parental rights all day, but parents also have a right to expect the federal government that won't play games with their children's education. Last year, the Trump administration withheld $7 billion in congressionally appropriated education funding. That money was for after-school programs, teacher training, English language acquisition, adult education, and student support. That does not build trust, that breaks trust. And Mr. Smith, what happens to students and families and school districts when federal education funding is delayed or withheld, and who's hurt the most when that funding is held up? You got 10 seconds, sir.
Thank you. Who suffers are those students. We see decreased academic performance, we see higher dropout rates, but also what we see is that the performance of all students suffer when the performance of some students suffer. And so if we want inclusive classrooms, if we want successful classrooms, we have to support all of our students.
Thank you, sir. I'm out of time. Mr. Chairman, I do request unanimous consent to enter into the record a letter from students all across this country that speak to this as well.
Without objection, it
Thank
will be
you.
entered.